Imagine being told, bow down or burn alive. No trial, no second chance, just one choice. Worship the king or step into a blazing furnace. Most people bowed without hesitation, but three young men did something no one expected. What happened next left an entire empire speechless and has inspired generations for thousands of years. This is the incredible story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. The kingdom of Babylon stood at the height of its power. Its walls were massive. Its palaces were breathtaking. Its army had conquered nation after nation. At the center of it all ruled King Nebuchadnezzar. He had everything most people could only dream of: power, wealth, fame, victory. Yet none of it was enough. The king wanted something even greater. He wanted the people to worship him. So he ordered skilled craftsmen to build an enormous statue made entirely of gold. It rose high above the plain, shining brilliantly beneath the Babylonian sun. People traveled from every corner of the empire just to see it. Then the king made an announcement that filled the nation with fear. Whenever the royal musicians played, everyone, young and old, rich and poor, powerful and humble, had to fall to the ground and worship the golden image. Anyone who refused would immediately be thrown into a blazing furnace. No exceptions, no mercy. As news spread throughout Babylon, fear spread with it. No one wanted to die. Then the day finally came. The musicians lifted their instruments. The first notes echoed across the plain, and thousands of people dropped to their knees. One by one, every head bowed. Almost every head. In the middle of the enormous crowd, three men remained standing: Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They had faithfully served the king for many years. They respected his authority, but they could never worship anyone except the one true God. As thousands of people lowered their heads, the three friends stood quietly. They didn't shout. They didn't protest. They didn't argue. They simply refused to bow. People nearby began whispering. Are they trying to get themselves killed? Soldiers noticed. Government officials noticed. And secretly, some of those officials smiled. They had been waiting for Daniel's friends to make a mistake. Without wasting a moment, they hurried to the palace. Your Majesty, they said, those three Hebrew men have ignored your command. King Nebuchadnezzar could hardly believe it. These men were trusted leaders in his own kingdom. Surely they would change their minds. Surely they understood what was at stake. The king ordered the three men to stand before him. His voice echoed through the magnificent palace. Is it true? Have you refused my command? I'll give you one more chance. When the music begins, bow. Bow before the statue. But if you refuse, you will be thrown into the blazing furnace. Then the king asked, a question filled with pride. And what God can rescue you from my power? Silence filled the room. No one moved. No one spoke. Everyone watched. Everyone waited. Would they surrender? Or would they choose death? The three friends answered calmly, King Nebuchadnezzar, we do not need to defend ourselves before you. Our God is able to rescue us from the blazing furnace, and he is able to rescue us from your hand. But even if he does not, we will never serve your gods, and we will never worship the golden image you have set up." Those words shocked everyone. They weren't demanding a miracle. They were declaring their faith. Whether they lived or died, their decision would never change. The king's face turned red with anger. His pride had been challenged. Heat the furnace 7 times hotter. Servants rushed to obey. More wood, more oil, more fire. The flames roared into the sky. The heat became almost unbearable. Even the strongest soldiers struggled to get close. Then Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were bound tightly with ropes. Step by step, they were led toward the roaring furnace. The flames were so intense that the soldiers carrying them were overcome by the heat. Then the 3 faithful men disappeared into the fire. The king stepped closer. He expected to hear screams. Instead, silence. No cries, no panic, only the sound of roaring flames. His eyes widened. He blinked. He looked again. Then he suddenly jumped to his feet. "Weren't there 3 men thrown into the fire?" His advisors answered, "Yes, Your Majesty." The king stared once more. "No, I see 4 men. They're walking around. They aren't tied. They aren't hurt. And the 4th? Looks like someone sent from heaven." Inside the furnace, the ropes had burned away, but the fire could not touch them. They walked peacefully through flames that should have destroyed them. The fire that was meant to end their lives had only set them free. Unable to believe what he was seeing, the king rushed toward the furnace. "Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, servants of the Most High God, come out." Slowly, the 3 men walked out of the blazing furnace, alive, safe, completely unharmed. People crowded around them. They looked carefully. Their clothes weren't burned. Their hair wasn't singed. Not even the smell of smoke clung to them. It was as if the fire had never touched them. King Nebuchadnezzar stood speechless. Then, before the entire kingdom, he praised the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. The same king who had demanded worship now honored the God they trusted. He promoted the 3 faithful men throughout Babylon. Everyone who witnessed that miracle knew one thing: there is no king more powerful than God. Every generation faces its own furnace. Sometimes it isn't made of fire. Sometimes it's pressure. Pressure to fit in. Pressure to stay silent. Pressure to compromise. What you know is right. Real courage isn't following the crowd. Real courage is standing for what's right, even when you're standing alone. Faith doesn't always remove the fire. Sometimes it carries you safely through it. If this story encouraged you today, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs hope. And remember, the strongest people aren't always the loudest. They're the ones who refuse to compromise, even when everyone else bows.